Okay, so this is just a regular tin can with the felt in it, and it is like pretty much exhausted and ready to come out, and you'll start to see that if you're careful, you can just print down the center and leaving these pieces perfectly natural, and you'll get this organic marks left from the string. So this has been sitting out approximately 3 days, and it's treated every day with my vinegar wash. And this is lightly dyed with ferns. I'm going to overprint that piece with a turmeric onion skin wash when it's done. And inside here, these pieces are the rose petals. Printing inside of here. That you will see that leaves these marks here into the cloth. And this has been out maybe 4 days as well. So it was 2 days on the ferns, 2 days on the rose petals. Okay, so just to start off with some of the ideas I work with, this is carded wool, and this has been dyed with chamomile, so it's got this nice buttery yellow color to it. This is black beans here, and then this would be I think this one is onion skins and calendula and in it as well, so that's that color. And these beautiful blushes are avocado. Now they're the skins, yeah, they're the skins and not the pits, because the pits make it turn kind of more of a purpley color, and this kind of keeps it this nice sort of blush color here. So I have very examples, and I keep track of the work that I'm dyeing. So probably many of you are familiar with the concept now, but this would be once you've dyed it, rinsed it and cleaned it, it is carded again, and this would be an example of how to felt. So I've brushed this out into thinner pieces and created these layers of color, as you can see. And then this will be washed with a gentle soap and pressed, and this will become a sheet of felt that I will use later in a piece of art that I will then embellish and hand embroider with. Just one moment. So then part of that is, this is an example of wool with eco printing, which is, obviously you can see this is the leaves here, but when you eco print and you roll it up, the binding material, it makes it makes this root effect at the bottom of the textile that you can see there, which is kind of a lovely, I quite love the effect of using the binding in it, and I find it really organic and satisfying. And this would have been the leaf printed together. Yeah, so what happens is, it would have been, the leaf would have been placed, these two pieces are rolled up, and so when you open the piece, you get the front of the leaf and the back of the leaf, and both printed through. And so, and then again you get those lovely tails that are in the piece here. And then to that I can embroider, hand stitch, lay on fabric, etc. And I'll speak to some of these pieces a little bit later on in the process. Silk does something quite different. So this is some of my silks that I have to work with, which I think of the silk. The silk to me is the skin. So this will be used to create something kind of tantamount to discovering. When you think of the inner archaeology, the silk is the flesh as you're moving through the body into your core of yourself. So an example of this is eco printed habitai silk. And if you can see here, we have onion skins and rose petals here. This kind of color here that's bleeding in a bit is like hibiscus. This is hibiscus and avocado over dyed, because the actual blue color of this fabric, that is black beans. And then this sort of, let's see if I can't get this. Can you see these sort of undulations here? These, here, that's better. Can you see it there? These black. This is actually evergreen. That's picked from the forest, wrapped inside, and the evergreen took on the print. And again, you'll see those lovely, lovely tails from tying the fabric up. So each piece doesn't necessarily embody one technique, one method, or one dye at all. So here was a nice chocolate, which was the black bean, and then it was over dyed on top of that to get that rich chocolate color, if you can see in that piece there. What is exciting is this is avocado, and it is just stunning. And this is where you start getting into your folding techniques. So you're dealing with folding and clipping using clothes pegs. So the clothes pegs resist the dye, but you get really geometric marks left behind in the fabrics. So so a big part of dyeing is, it's not just dyeing. If you want something sort of organic and loose, then you don't build structure in, but the folding techniques of dyeing and how you dip them and leave them in create different patterns in the textile, which you learn to a certain extent. You have a fairly solid result. There's always something organic that's going to happen, but you get a fairly solid result from that work. And then these just find them here for you. So then this is where we start to get into to speak a bit to the rusting techniques, which I used a metal bar and wrapped the silk in the solution, and this is through folding you get this technique of kind of a chevron organic out of this is rust on here. And at the time that I originally did this piece, I have kind of a very difficult, warm, loving, and unusual relationship with my sister. So what I wanted to do was take the exact same method and create another piece using this had iron in it, this just had the rust. So there was different techniques used. So it's the exact same family, and then speaking to the difference of the same genetic pool, if you will. And so then this is how my sister's is, which is the exact same metal bar and the exact same piece, exact same silk, and exact same time, just with another element added in, another metal added into it, and it completely changed the outcome from this to that. which I find fascinating. So it's speaking to that a bit. And then you start getting into rusting, adding natural, using different things to rust with. So this is rusting with berries as well on top of it. So you're getting this squished sort of look in it. This is an antique metal grate that I found. And I don't use this as a full piece. I've cut smaller pieces out of this because I find it a bit too much as one piece. But that is the rusted metal grate printed there. So because in the hotter the day, the more the sweat, the faster the rust makes. So this would have been not even 24 hours to do that piece, to rust that. And then that rusting can take on other elements, which is, this is cotton, and it was washers, old washers from a farm, and it printed out, well, this side might be better. And you can see the washers, but it isn't just that the washers print, it's that you get this beautiful color throughout the fabric as well. And so a kind of raw example of how that was used is in this beautiful bolster that I made, allowing that fabric to really sing and honoring all the beauty and the imperfection of it all, which is very important to my work.